What's going on, guys? So it seemed like you liked my last video talking about Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya, but in this video I wanted to talk about what is next for Israel Adesanya. A lot of people are talking about what is next, what is this guy going to do now that he's lost the belt to Sean Strickland in such a dominant fashion. So if we look at the rise and fall, and I don't want to really say that Israel Adesanya has fallen off, I still think he's, if not the number one ranked fighter in the world, next to Sean Strickland, who is obviously champion. But if we look at what has happened historically when he lost the belt to Alex Pereira, obviously came back and won. He's constantly gotten an immediate rematch. And I think this is something to talk about with just how the UFC works is, does a champion who loses once, does he get a rematch right away? And then if it happens again, should he get an immediate rematch? Me personally, I feel like we need a break from Israel Adesanya, and I do like him a lot as a fighter. I think he's unique. I think his outside presence, I think, is good for the sport, regardless of what people agree with. But what I do think is we need a break. I think we need someone else to go up against Sean Strickland. I just think it feels like very repetitive. Israel has been in the championship scene for so long. You just want to see someone new. I feel like this is a constant thing that happens. If someone is just constantly dominating, I mean, no offense to John Jones, but it's like, it was good when John Jones got away from the sport and then came back because it was refreshing, right? I feel like this happened a lot with Kamaru Usman, where it was like, you knew he was so dominant, but the thing is, people didn't want to watch his fights because it just felt like he was there for so long. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I just feel like we need a break from Israel Adesanya. So I guess then the question is, what does he do? Who is he going to fight? There's a lot of people that are obviously next in line for the belt, but I do think there are some really good matchups to have Israel Adesanya fight someone else. So I'm forgetting the South African guy, where Israel Adesanya essentially went into the octagon, said a bunch of pretty graphic things, pretty racist things, but I think that would be a great matchup for him to go against. Of course, I'm blanking on his name. Someone like Robert Whittaker, I don't really see that being a big matchup, to be completely honest. I feel like Izzy has kind of dominated him pretty fairly. If we look at other people, you know, one matchup, which, again, I don't know if this would ever happen, but I feel like stylistically a really cool fight would be Thompson versus Izzy. I don't know. I just feel like that would be a really interesting fight. I know there's obviously, you know, weight classes and stuff, but I feel like that would just be really cool. So I think there are just so many options for Izzy moving forward. I would just love to see what ends up happening. What do they decide? I really hope that Dana White doesn't, you know, give a rematch right away. I just feel like the fans don't really want to see that. The fight honestly looked really dominant from Sean Strickland, to the point where it felt like, I don't know if people would want to pay to see that again. I feel like later on maybe. But yeah, I think Izzy has a lot of people that he could go up against. I think there are a lot of better venues that he could do as compared to just fighting Sean Strickland. Why not put him on a card? If they end up doing UFC in Africa, I feel like he would be a great headliner to go up against someone. Again, I think his last name is like Duplay. I may be saying it wrong, but the South African guy, that would be a huge, huge card, even if you wanted to do UFC New Zealand. Again, there are just so many different cards I feel like Izzy would be a better fit for than Sean Strickland. And then I'm interested to just see, you know, if Izzy will rise again to championship status. He looked really off that night, and historically what we've seen is that if a champion has lost the belt twice, they end up kind of declining pretty far. I'm interested to see how he deals with this adversity, how he deals with this kind of loss. This is probably his biggest loss in his actual career. Yes, he's been knocked out before, but he has never lost like 4 rounds, I feel like, out of 5. So this is going to be really interesting. Hopefully we'll see what happens soon. I know Dana White likes to hide information for quite a long time, but I'm interested to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think the future is like for Israel Adesanya? Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it. And let me know if you want me to continue with these UFC content. Peace out. Bye.